Hey guys, Sir Roll1986 here. I'm signing in here for another video. Doing some new world coverage. This time, actually on the PTR. I said I was going to do some little PTR coverage, and well, here we are. Because Brimstones has been loaded and landed in the PTR build, along with the Great Sword, and also the new player experience from 1-2-25. I haven't done yet the new player experience, but I have explored the cities in doing so. And I mean, the look of Everfall, the look of Monarch Bluffs. Oh my, ha 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 ha! I haven't seen if they did any changes. The Windsward was supposed to happen because that's one of the other starting zones. Um, and I mean, hell, it's just this is another great thing that's in here too. Is the factor of the changing of the loading screens. I mean, huh. The concept art, I hope this actually is what's going to go over in live because give us something different to look at. And another thing too that's brand new. Da 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 da, we're getting a Halloween event. So new emotes, new gear, and actually I shouldn't say new gear. It's weapons this time. 600 gear score weapons. Oh yeah, especially needed for the factor of going into Brimstones. But as you can see here, I'm walking through. This is just Monarch Bluffs, and Everfall is completely revamped as well. So, oh my god. And I'm hoping they continue on this process and check out and revamp the other areas as well, and that's including like Ebonscale and uh, Brightwood and Weaver's Fen, Restless Shores, and whatnot. Because I have been over to Restless Shores, and Restless Shores is just the same as it looks like compared to what's over on live servers right now. Um, as for playing around with the great, one thing I'll say about this, the housing over in Brimstones, and I'm forward in the video just because of this. It's I have 3 houses already. They're all tier 4s, and the one in Restless Shores. Then you got one in Everfall, and then you also got one in Ebonscale. I am going to relocate out here because oh my, they are so nice. I mean, you get the nice big balcony, and especially the tier 4 ones. You get the nice big balconies. One of them I explored 3 tiers with the balcony, with actually not just one but 2 balconies on it, and it's actually probably coming up here very soon. Rather in the background, and a little entrance to the to the home to the whole entire housecape again. Loading screens, a lot of them, and new ones and concept art. I do hope that makes it over into live because that would be awesome. Now, going a little bit back further, I will say with the entrance to Brimstones, don't mess up like Brian did over Work the Game and trying to get into Brimstones and not read the quest log. Read the quest logs because it also says down here, right down here, that depending on your faction, the starting area, the starting zone, the starting quest to get into Brimstones is different for either one. So I mean, you got SM, you got GC or ER. I don't know if that's actually going to stay as like a faction lock thing or if it's just overall. But the way that I did it, I went into Shattered Mountain and unlocked it through there. And which also, as you say, stock up on fish oil. You're gonna need it because you got to have fish oil for that quest, as well as going and picking up a few items here and there to make the potion to where you can make heat resistance. Because if you don't, you try to run to the border and try to get in, you die instantly. Yeah, the wall's down and everything, but you die instantly because you die from the heat. It burns, and it burns hard. And yeah, not fun. Now going into say the great sword. before we get into more of the Brimstone stuff. Greatsword play is actually really, really, really nice. I actually kind of like it, and especially for the fact that this is actually the first one, as far as I know, still being as a new player and everything, and only been playing for a couple months. This is one of the first ones that I heard that actually scale evenly with strength and dexterity, because this is another one that's like the sword and board. You have strength and dexterity, but the sword goes more off of strength than it does dexterity. But as I've heard and everything else, that it scales evenly. So whatever your damage, whatever your main spec is, you can go and literally go full dex with the great sword. That way you keep your bow stats up and everything else too, and it'll scale just as right as you would go, say, full strength and go with great axe or any other strength-based weapon. And some of the abilities are really, really nice, especially when you're in the onslaught stance. I didn't open up the skill tree, and I should have, but yeah. And you go into the onslaught stance. Every move every ability that you proc in the 3 that you can get, which actually I got 2 of them here. And I'll just lean back here real quick. These two, the red ones. That's the onslaught tree. Your next move is a guaranteed critical, and that's really, really nice. And hell, it even works for going over to the blue one, which is the defiant stance. And the stance is actually really, really nice as well. The only thing I have a problem with, per se, with the stance is if you're a DPS and you hit that stance to get what I have is the shockwave. I don't want to be pulling threat off the tank, even though probably I'll also be screwing around with tank with greatsword too, and actually try my ranger build that I have for it. We'll see how it works out. And just checking outside real quick. Sorry. OCD and ADHD. But also you have new materials that come out of this. I mean, yeah, that has Ironhide, but you have new materials coming out. You have cactus, but where's the damage from mixing with the cactus? Even stepping over the cactus, you don't take damage. Come on, developers. You don't go up to a cactus in real life, touch it, and get no damage. You're going to go, ow! Come on. At least make a sound or something. And you also have a new thing coming in for resistance, acid. I probably won't make it up to the point in the video unless I fast forward, but I probably won't, no. But you have acid, and it burns. But there's ways of building acid resistance, which you can get through armoring. So, yeah, that's going to be real fun to build off. And even including with the Roman culture and everything else, I mean, you have new enemy types, and it's wonderful because you get the Legion corrupted this time, and that they're still corrupted. You also have the Egypt little mobs, which hell, last night I was going around with Brian from Work the Game, and we were exploring. Hell, we even ran into the new elite zone that's right by the pyramid. And I haven't tried out the new dungeon yet. I kind of want to, but also I kind of want to keep some stuff here sacred to myself to where I'm not spoiled. But, yeah. And one of the last things I do want to cover, one of the few last things I do want to cover here is the factor of what they're doing with crafters. Excuse me. That's one of the great things about subbing to me. You actually see me unedited on these videos, and I'm just going to leave it and cut it and call it a day. With crafters, you have new items coming out, which you've seen with me just messing with the cacti. You have cacti leaf. You also have the scorpions that give scorpion meat, and yeah, you still have the flesh and everything else, but you get the scorpion meat. You have the armadillos, new mobs. Which also funny thing about the scorpions, if you run into the little tiny ones, those ones, yeah, you can actually squash them, run right over and squash them. You don't have to waste an arrow or whatever. You can just walk right on top of them and squash them. Um, but yeah, it just goes back to the factor. Come on, you mess with the cacti, you're gonna get hurt. Please add that in. Come on, developers, let's have some fun. I mean, you put acid and burns. You step on a scorpion, you squash it. But not the big ones. But come on, you mess with cacti, you're going to get stung and going to hurt. Another thing with the crafters too is that they're giving new bonuses out to say first time crafting an item. I haven't tested it out to see how much the bonus is compared to a normal experience, but it's going to be worth it. Another great thing too that I haven't touched on is actually they've made changes to the UI itself. Instead of you having that big ass health bar and everything else, when you're out of combat, it shrinks down and it fades away a little bit better than it does on live. That when you're in combat, instead of the battle axes being next to the health bar, it's actually in the health bar, and you seem to be getting out of combat a lot faster, which is really, really, really nice. I mean, Brimstones is great, and I'm looking forward to when it actually does hit live. And here, another new resource. You get stone skeletons and sulfur out of them, plus also lodestone. So it's going to be easier to farm up lodestone. Yeah, it's going to be at a reduced cost of than actually going to a lodestone thing, but there's a lot more nodes. You also got brimstone out here and coming up to here for the factor of the acid. So I'm looking forward to Brimstones going on live coming in October. Can't wait to really, really dig into it on live. The Great Sword is awesome. I am definitely going to be moving my house out to Brimstone. One of my houses out to Brimstone. I just don't know which one yet. I'm going to be keeping my Everfall one because the look of the new Everfall is blissful. It doesn't look rattered and tattered as it does on live, in my opinion, but that could be someone else's opinion as well. And it doesn't look run down. Then, yeah, I'm just looking forward to everything else. But say this is the very last thing I do want to cover, and if you haven't seen the video where I asked did AGS screw up, and I'm actually planning on doing a full-on thing. Follow-up video to it here probably within the next week, and they're again releasing more servers. Yay, they're bringing back some servers that they merged off, but your characters are going to be still on the new servers that you got merged into, so that's one great thing. One great thing for some, actually great for all. That they're also increasing server capacity, which they've announced that it's going to be 2,500 up to increase server capacity, meaning the queue's going to be a little bit less. Sorry. I needed a quick drink. So queue's going to be a little bit less. I mean, queues have been going faster, especially with more people transferring over to the other ones, which with people coming into transferring over to the other ones, and they've just mentioned it, and a lot of people are questioning it, or when are they going to come, or how long is it going to be as this kind of server. They just have supported the idea and thoughts of it of being fresh start servers. Yeah. Fresh start servers meaning you can't transfer into it. You have to literally start off at level 1, get that full-on new player experience. It'd be awesome to try it out, and that way you won't come into, say, a server's ruined economy and everything else. You actually get progress and build your character on a fresh, brand new server. So, I mean, it's a great idea, great concept, but it's just like people ask, and I'm kind of on the opinion too, how long is a fresh start server a fresh start server? is it 1, 2 months, 3 months down the road, where you actually have people finally getting to the 60, do you finally unlock the transfers off to it? Another thing that I want to cover too, because with the shell companies and everything else, because hell, my server is one of the ones that have the biggest shell companies around, because they control like 5-6 territories all to themselves. They're putting a 3-day cooldown on warring and everything else, because I seen that tweet earlier and post with them from the forums. Well, actually, I shouldn't say forums. I should say Reddit, which is great. Give more people that want to own a territory and get the money from it and get the chance to it. I mean, you can't even have the smaller companies actually try to own a territory for themselves and reap the benefits of that. I'm looking forward to what they do, because this is going to be a small fix of for the big large problem that's been going on for the whole entire time, that first people who created multiple companies to get around that you can only own one territory at a time, from what I've heard. And actually, it is true, but yeah, they've got the round of it with the shell companies. But that's it for my ramblings now. If you're new here and if you made it to this point of the video, congratulations. This is the House of Insanity signing out. Please make sure to hit the like, subscribe. I am trying to work on pushing over to partner over on Twitch, so do come drop a lurk. Drop a lurk and a follow. Make sure I'll turn on notifications on both sides of when I have new videos come out. You can enjoy in the fun, because we all have straight jackets ready for you with your name already on them. So until the next video, I will catch you all later. Adios, muchachos.